Do you ever make drinks with your ginger beer? Like do something fancy like
No.
pomegranate juice, raspberry juice, or anything? You just drink ginger beer straight.
Yeah, just straight. I'm a purist.
It was so fancy when I had it that I think I want to repeat that. Okay, anyway, me dang on near minus my voice. Are you ready to do the show?
Ready when you are.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to One Man and One Woman, the podcast. I am one of your co-hosts, Tara Michelle.
Yeah, I think I'll just be flying today. I'm just flying.
They can't get a regular intro, they can't get a regular outro, and now you want to change your name, and I don't have a voice. Sorry that I sound like this, everyone. I was at an award ceremony for my children, and we all know how we do when they call our babies' names. Well, at least I know how I do when they call my babies' names. But I think we have a really good subject to talk about this evening. What about you?
We'll see. We'll see. I mean, yeah, we'll see.
Okay, so you sent me this clip, this reel, and we both agree that it would be great to talk about on this podcast. So, should we just start by playing it? I do kind of sort of want to set it up though. So, what we're watching is a reaction video. Someone is reacting to the thing that we're going to be talking about, the woman that we're going to be talking about, and what she said. So, when you hear a girl seeming to interrupt and explain her point of view, that's the girl that's reacting to the girl that we really want to listen to. This is going to be kind of hard without them being able to see it, I guess. I don't know. But let's try to make it work.
All right.
Ready when you are.
Y'all need to check this out right now.
Okay, I am the problem.
So tell us why.
I went on a date with this guy, and he was like, it's getting late. Do you want to come back to my place? And I was like, sure, but I'm not going to sleep with you. Like, that's not happening. And he was like, that's totally fine. Just come over. And I was like, cool.
Okay, he sound like a little nice one. But, girl, what happened? Because we need to know.
So I go to his place. He respects my wishes. He's so nice. He cuddles me all night. And I'm like, are you f***ing gay? Like, what?
What? Are you freaking serious right now?
And like, I just wanted him to like try, and then for me to be like, no, you know what I mean?
So basically, you wanted to reject him for your own self-gratification.
I wasn't gonna sleep with him. I just now I feel ugly. This is what.
But the crazy part is, if he would have tried, she would have called him every name under the sun. Probably would have even tried to get him locked up. We respect men.
We can cut it here because I don't need her commentary.
And we don't question their sexuality. Baby girl.
Okay, so I want to cut her out if we
man.
can. Like, she does not have to speak at all. But when she gets through, see, if you listen to the girl, when she said, and I just want him to try, and I want to be like, no, that's a playful no. She meant cat and mouse. This young lady.
But she later on said, I wasn't going to sleep with him. So she did. Yeah, no,
No,
that's
it's not.
bullshit.
Okay, so no, I just don't think so. So we are clearly taking these two things or this situation two different ways, because I don't believe that her ultimate goal was to reject him the entire night. I believe she wanted to play a little game of cat and mouse. So for me, in this situation, it's very cut and dry. She did it wrong. Like I said, the Me Too movement and all of this, stuff that's going on right now where everybody thinks that anytime anybody ever patted them on their booty is like, an assault case. I don't come from that life at all. So when I'm listening to this girl and she's like, I just want him to try. And I'm like, no, nobody says no like that for real. This is why I don't think that she was seriously going to tell him no. But I don't mind laying down a scenario that I feel like would make this better. First of all, let me start off by saying, in all honesty, if she really was gonna like play that game with the ultimate goal of rejecting him entirely just for power or just to play mind games, then she's a disgusting individual. But nothing about what I just heard makes me feel like that was her agenda. We have to move differently these days, but I don't think we have to give that up. So I was born in 1980. I was in my teens in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? So this is what I'm used to. I am used to, back then, being a whore wasn't acceptable. Okay. So no, none of the girls I knew were out here like, yeah, I'm letting somebody smash on the first date. First time I've met them. That was frowned upon. When we were growing up, we were told what a lady's supposed to act like, how a lady's supposed to dress, how you're supposed to carry yourself. Even let's just go back to the beginning. We would get told stuff like this. And I know the fellas, my male friends and male family members were told the same thing by the OGs. Listen, when you get a girl number, you don't call her the same day. You wait a day or two. You don't want to look thirsty. And with the girls, if you give a dude your phone number, he calls you, you don't answer on the first ring. Answer on ring 3 or 4. You don't just don't be all eager, overly eager, because it kind of looks pathetic. That is what we were told. So we were told about the game of cat and mouse, where let's just take this scenario that the girl is talking about. So this is how I would have did that. If you if I'm going on a date with a guy and I've never given up on the first date, let's be very clear. But hypothetically in this situation, if I decided at the end of that date, we're kicking it to 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, and I like you, and I'm thinking, I might want to do a little something. When you ask me to come to your house that late at night, first of all, ladies, let's just be clear. If you're not at least partially interested, why would you go to a man's house at 11, 12, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning? That's the first part. So I get over there because I'm still on the fence. But before we get there, I say, you know what? But I'm not sleeping with you. Yeah, I'll come over, but I'm not having sex with you because at that moment I don't know that I fully am into him. But I'm going over there to test the waters. So I will take accountability and ownership for the fact that I am taking my butt somewhere for the first time with this person that time of night. So I understand that I may be making him believe that something might happen. Um, that it's still about consent though. So until I consent, the answer is still no. You agree to me coming to your house and we kick it. She said they had fun and they were cuddling all night. And then she goes, but he didn't try anything. Like I at least wanted him to try. And so here's my thing for you ladies. If you set the precedent, if you say nothing is going to happen here, and then you get over there and you're enjoying everything that's happening and you say, you know what? Yeah, I do want to do something. You have to start it. You have to make him understand if you're not the type that's very bold and brash to say it out loud, you got to start doing stuff. You got to kiss him sensually. You got to turn him on. You got to start touching places and doing things. And then he's going to say something like, I thought you said you didn't want to do anything. And you can say that was then, this is now. And you started and you get that ball rolling because you're the reason the ball wasn't rolling. You're the reason he's been playing the good guy. I'm not saying playing the good guy. He's been being a good guy. He is following your wishes. And that's what we're supposed to want in this day and time. Again, I didn't grow up like this. I grew up with men walking up to you, putting their hand in your back pocket and pulling you to them. Hey, mom, saying some of the most vulgar things, but that was just what we were used to. Again, we hadn't had a Me Too movement epiphany back then. Men would get all up in your face, an inch from your face, because we hadn't had a COVID situation yet either. So I'm used to men being aggressive, not physically aggressive, but being aggressive and saying, I want you. To me, that's sexy. But as a woman, I don't just say, okay, yes, just because you tell me you want me. I want you. I want to give a little chase. But it's never going to be a situation where you're going to think, see, I can't speak to this topic right now. You need to speak to this topic on how it feels for you men, because I I'm not saying no, don't touch me. But have you ever heard the song by Janet Jackson, Funny How Time Flies? At the
Mhm.
end, when she starts speaking French and you could tell he's clearly kissing on her or touching on her, and she's like, no, I gotta go. She does not mean no. That's why at the end of the song, she's moaning and groaning, and you know exactly what's happening. It used to be a safe space in time in the 80s and the 90s and the early 2000s where you could say no and not mean it. And it was more like, you have to be, this is a vibe. This is a feeling. You need to understand, if I'm standing here at your house at 1 o'clock in the morning, I'm half dressed, I'm still undressing you. I'm like, nah, don't touch me. That kind of, and you grab me even harder, even more. and the passion builds. That is so sexy to me because I'm not one of these girls who's going to walk into a situation knowing that I'm giving, and I'm not saying that if any other woman goes somewhere that look, let's be honest. If you go to somebody's house at 1:00 in the morning, I know I sound all over the place, but if you go to somebody's house at 1:00 in the morning and you honestly don't want to sleep with them, why are you going? Like that doesn't, as a woman, that doesn't make sense to me. I don't move like that. If I'm not 90% sure going in, for real, 100, I'm not going. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to play this game where I put myself in a situation where you're hot and bothered, I'm hot and bothered, and then I'm playing this game of, yes, no, maybe. No. But at the same time, there's something so fun about making a man come and get it.
Okay, I'm making sure, I'll let you get all of that out. Because I may go on a little rant here. It may go on for a while. And I just, wanted to be respectful of your time.
I'll interrupt you if I want to. Don't talk too much.
It's happening. But, yeah, because first of all, let's talk about why the majority of women don't listen to that. Dudes don't listen to anything that you just said. Everybody's in a dangerous space with that advice. First, I want to say
that is so rude and disrespectful. Don't tell people not to listen to me just because you don't agree.
Oh no, if I'm gonna get in trouble for giving advice, this is the advice I'm gonna give. I'm gonna go ahead and give this.
So you about to tell people to be boring and whack. Go ahead. Let's see how that works for you.
No, I'm about to talk to them. Yeah, we've seen how being spicy has worked out for people. Ask Mike Tyson. But anyway, I know because you will accuse me of this all the time of just running with the dudes, finding a way. This is definitely a situation where, based on the information you're given, you couldn't come to the conclusion that you're coming to with her intentions and all of that. You are purely adding information to the story that is not there. The only evidence you're using to come up with this idea that she playfully wanted to say no and give in anyway is the way she said the word no. And as a lot of dudes that are probably in prison or been on trial have known, being able to try to interpret that no and be like, yeah, she said no, but she said it in a way that you don't do that. So even that little nuance in the way she said no, that doesn't work. If you're going to explicitly come out and tell me I'm not sleeping with you before we even make the move to wherever it is we're going, you are enthused, because that's what they say about consent. Consent has to be continuous, enthusiastic, and explicit. So if you're going to explicitly let me know what's not going to happen, the moment you want that to change, you need to explicitly let me know that has changed. The little
I just said that,
you're not doing that.
I said you got to turn it around.
You was bold enough to say, but you still was coyishly
No, I literally said dudes, that was then and this is now, and then you keep it going. If you're touching him,
that's not explicit. That's not explicit. Hold on. You gotta let me. You gotta let me go through this.
Hurry
up. Let me go through this because that's not explicit. Ooh, look at you.
Because this is bull not today. Crap.
But no, not today. Not today. If you're gonna explicitly tell me what's what we're not going to do, that was then and that is now, that's not explicit. That's still up for interpretation. That's still something I got to figure out what you meant by that. I didn't have to figure out what you meant by we're not having sex tonight. I'm not sleeping with you tonight. Zero thought had to go on and try to figure out what that meant. You tell me that was then, this is now, still too much gray area. Be just as explicit as you were in what we weren't going to do with what we are going to do. And the issue with this thing is that it's not so much that maybe she changed her mind and didn't know how to get out of it. It's that somehow this dude gets looked at negatively for
doing what she asked. Exactly.
Doing what you asked me to do. Either. And that's the problem. I don't care if, you want to be chased or whatever. But the fact that somehow he had to be gay because you told him not to do something and he didn't do it. We can't continue to send both of these messages. We can't. Because as a dude, I'm not playing the gray area game. I'm not playing any with a woman. And this is why, for me, for dudes, the issue is more staying away from one night stands, stay away from sleeping with women that you don't really know. Because if you don't know their mindset, if you don't know how they respond in emotional situations. If you don't know what they do when they get mad, if you don't know what they do when they get upset, you know, you can end up in a world of hurt. Because I think when I was looking at the comments on this particular reel, there was one guy who was saying like, you give explicit non-consent, then you want to give implicit consent. And the way the laws are worked, in the morning you could wake up and rescind that consent, and I still could have
You know
fucked
what?
up.
And that is the
Sorry,
dangerous
Sean.
part for men. But you hit the nail on the head when you just said, make sure you're messing with a person that you know. Because for what I desire, and I don't do it all the time, but when I want to play like that, when I want to give a little chase, it's with my man. So he knows exactly what I'm doing. Like if I'm coming into the room and I'm completely naked, and I'm, I get in the bed and I done put my booty on him and all kinds of stuff like that. He know what's up. And if he starts rubbing my booty, I'm like, don't touch me. Girl, what? He gonna grab me by my hip and pull me closer. Like, this is mine. You know what I'm saying? That's a game we play. See, that's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about entering into dangerous situations with people you don't know.
Yeah. You got to be very, very, you have to know that person. As a man, you got to know that woman, that know that when she said no, when you grabbed her booty, that meant, keep going. And as a woman, you've got to give a guy time to get to know you that way. You can't judge him that quickly on what he did or didn't do in that situation because he doesn't know. And I am going to choose my freedom over taking a chance
I said she didn't
spicing
do it
it up
right.
with you
She
any day of the
did
week.
not play that right at
But
all.
she shouldn't be doing it anytime. I don't think that there's a cat and mouse game to you explicitly telling me, no, we not doing something, and then expecting me to disregard that at some point.
Yeah, you have to make it
because
evident.
Of any signal that
you have to make it evident you change your mind. But this is the type of thing that I'm talking about. Like, this is not for strangers. This is not for people who don't know each other well. But it can still be in the dating stage.
Right, but that's exactly who these two people were.
And
These two
I will
people were
say it for the
strangers,
fifth
and this
time.
is how. And she
I
walks
think she
away.
did this incorrectly for so many reasons. The fact that he didn't know her and she didn't know him, and the fact that she didn't turn around and tell him that she was into it now and that's what she wanted. I would never agree with you calling a man gay for listening to you. You gave him a set of rules, or you gave him the no, didn't rescind the no, didn't try anything yourself. You let him hold you and cuddle you all night. How in the world, why would he try and you said no and haven't given him any other inclination? I do know we're in a different, this is why I don't like this era. I'm so glad I didn't have to grow up with men being afraid to approach me and tell me, you look beautiful. I had a man walk up to me once and tell me, he was like, you smell like I should be eating you. And even though I was in a relationship when he said that, I was like, ooh, that was original. Like, I'm going to give you some brownie points for that. Mad crazy that you said that to somebody you don't know.
I'm not even
but,
this, I'm not even this dude, TM, but I think we need to acknowledge the fact that you clearly grew up in rape culture. This shit was out of pocket.
Well,
like, that's just not.
What was the 90s?
That's not regular.
Now we're finding out.
That's sexual assault on a daily basis.
To me, that's weak AF. He didn't touch me. If that's what he felt in his mind, I am not the girl that's for be sitting up here talking about that sexual assault or any. It's words. He didn't touch me. Man, see, that's the type of stuff right there.
So let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. If you were out and about with a man that cared about you, I want to say an authority figure, not a
lover,
not a romantic, no romantic interest, an authority figure, a male who cared about you, and a man says something like that, like he doesn't want a man to talk to his daughter like that just out of nowhere because it's disrespectful.
Standing next to me, that.
All right, just because I'm there doesn't mean I want you to do it when you're not there. That's not how you. That's not how you talk to him.
That's cute for you. I am not going to be offended as long as you don't touch me by use. Man, dude, that was hilarious to me. I'm like, wow, that was creative, because actually the day that I was wearing, the perfume I was wearing did smell like cookies. So technically, we took it there and thought he was talking about something sexual. He could have just been saying, girl, you smell like a brownie, a cupcake, or a cookie. But your mind took it there to him saying something else. Who am I to tell a person how to use their words? You know what I'm saying? We are in the land of free speech, right?
I think we can.
But I refuse to call words sexual assault. Outrageous.
I don't think it depends on the situation, especially if it's a workplace or it's someplace where it's not supposed to happen, where you're supposed to be able to feel safe.
I'm still just not the girl that's going to get overly upset about silliness. I will check you.
And I get that that's not you.
And tell you don't talk to me like that.
That's not you. But the reason I'm saying women don't take this advice and men don't take this advice is because we say this all the time to you, TM. You are a unicorn. Can't no dude
But see,
think
I'm scared of
that
that
he's
advice
got
too,
a
though.
he don't have a 9 out of 10 chance. He don't have a 1 out of 10
So,
chance
but
of
this
pulling
sucks.
that
Do you
off and
understand
thinking
how this
nothing's
sucks
going
for
to go
women like
wrong.
me, though? I grew up with females like this. We have these conversations to this day. Like, I've talked about this very thing with women in my age group, how we don't like how soft the men have gotten. Again, I don't want you to be aggressive with me physically and you
But
don't.
it's not
Let me
soft to be
finish.
respectful.
I don't want you to be aggressive with me and all that, and I don't know you. But I also, if we've been on 2, 3, 4, 5 dates, and I know I'm letting you know I'm feeling you. First of all, I keep going out with you. Second of all, at the end of the night, I didn't step as close to you as possible. I am still traditional in that way that I don't want to have to make the first move. I like a man being a man, and to me, that is you reading the signs and picking up on my energy and knowing I want you to kiss me. What those it used to work. It used to work for
Right,
wait,
but
it used to work for
we're
eons and
talking
eons.
apples
It
and
used to
oranges.
work for eons and eons before now. And now all of a sudden this is where we are. We're at the end of the 8th date. I'm still wondering why you haven't kissed me. And either I have to be mad aggressive, and then is that masculine energy? Am I gonna later then pay for that? Or
Right. See, we talking about apples and oranges
no, no,
here. We're
no.
talking about apples and
It's
oranges
not
here.
apples and oranges. It is all connected to
We are.
me.
We are. I'll let you finish, and then I'll show you how it's not as how they two completely
How
different
what's two
things.
completely
But go
different
ahead.
things?
The situation that this lady is talking about and somebody that you're in a relationship with that you've gotten to know
Right,
are
but we're
two
not.
different things.
We
Yes,
just
you
been on
have
dates.
freedoms as a
I
dude.
just said we had only been on dates, so we're not in a relationship yet. But you have these third or fourth dates where I want you to kiss me, and now you're going, well, do you mind if I kiss you? Like, that's not the era I'm from. And I know there's a lot of women out here
And
now that
again,
would like that. That's their vibe. I'm not. So the women like me who just like them, I like to know that you've been paying attention to me and you're feeling the energy that I'm sending you. And this is not new information. Like I said, this is all the 90s and the early 2000s were. Nobody was asking if they could kiss you. That's
but
just so that's so whack.
right again, a guy on the third or fourth date has enough information to make that determination. On date one or first night, you don't have the
But
information
I
to take
know
that
dudes who
chance. You
be in
don't.
relationships with girls and still be talking about
All right, but we don't know that about this dude. All this dude didn't do was make a move on her when she told
right.
him
So
not to.
that's
That's
what we
all he
use
didn't
to
do.
start.
He wasn't 3-4 dates in. He wasn't 3-4 dates in not kissing her. We don't
I'm
know if he
over
would have
that.
done
I'm
that.
over
This
that
was a
clip.
dude who
I'm no
was
longer talking
told.
about that clip. I'm
Well,
talking about how it is expanded. It
all
starts
right.
off like
Well, that's
that.
not how the show works.
But
That's not how the show works. We
the
don't
show
start
works
talking
however I
about one
want it to
thing and
work.
then we talk about something else. Oh wow, y'all heard
So
it
here's
first,
the
people.
thing for me. We start that as the catalyst because it doesn't, okay, that's how it normally starts. But now it has expanded into something so much more because now it's not just, oh, I don't know enough about her on the first night. There are men in relationships who say, I mean, literally, my male friends, I want to try this with her. We've been together for about 6 months, but I can't get a read on her. What happened to that innate ability that men used to have? How could you be in a relationship with somebody for 6 months and say that you just want to spice things up a bit? Not talking about doing nothing crazy, and you too scared to even ask her about it. And then you're saying that you can't understand. Her energy isn't giving you anything. How? And it's because of stuff like this. Men are now saying, I want to have a girl sign a consent form. I want to record the whole thing and have her look at the camera and say, I consent. Like, it's so much fear here now that passion is being washed out. And again, I'm not talking
I
about
think it's
disrespect and rape culture. I'm talking about men who've had enough time to get to know women still not doing it. Still being afraid to grab her up when they want her and sit her up on the counter or throw up against the wall. And again, guys, when I say throw, I don't mean through the wall. I just mean, come on, we've seen the movies. You've seen, we know what I'm talking about. That doesn't happen anymore. Everybody's so scary.
I mean, and but some of it is for good reason. I think there's two things that we're leaving out of all of this, and one is I think a part of what the lady was saying when we wanted to cut her off that is doesn't apply to you.
And she
TM.
didn't,
I know
it
don't
didn't apply to her
you,
either. She was
but I
putting
do
her
believe
own thoughts on that woman.
No, she wasn't, because the lady said she didn't say the things that you said. She didn't say anything about I changed my mind. I kind of wanted it. If he had made a move, I'd have said yes. She actually said after the whole no thing, I still wasn't going to have sex with him.
I didn't
Like,
hear
she
that.
actually said that. She did. We can play it back. We can run it back. But
And I already
she
stated if she
absolutely
really
said
was
that. I
doing it
still
for a
wasn't going to
power
have
trip,
sex with
she's
him.
disgusting. You don't just set
Right. But
somebody
there are
up to
women.
reject them for
There are
fun.
women out there there are women out there who get, and I think women need to admit this, that they do get
And I will never be like
they
that.
do get a
That's
kick
not
out of
funny.
rejecting men.
Why would I want to reject you? Why would I take my happy tail to your house that time of night, let you hold me all night just to just reject you over and over again? Who does that?
Right. Because at the end of it, what did she say? I feel ugly.
Well, if that's what she
Like,
was on,
if he had tried something on her, even when she got to reject him, she gets to go home that night feeling pretty,
that sounds
feeling
like something
desirable.
that's mentally wrong with her. Because here's the thing: if you were ugly,
I don't think that's
why
just
would
her.
he have asked you back to his house? Like, that whole thing is just okay. Yeah, she's special needs, but you know what?
She's not special needs. I don't think she's that much different than a lot of women.
That makes me sad. That makes me sad this time. And I'll tell you this: if women are doing stuff like that, then I hate to say it, but you got to be careful. That's all I'm gonna say, because I got a total line here. You have to be careful with the situations you put yourself into. Because even though when you say no, a person should listen, ladies, there are men who can have too much to drink, depending if y'all was popping pills or something. And if you have come to his house that time of night and you cuddling with him and you done took, maybe you just in a t-shirt and panties. And I'm not saying this what this woman was saying. I'm saying that we have to be careful, because not everybody will stop when you ask them to. So just do not put yourself in situations. If you know you just want to play with somebody, don't. I can't even give you a scenario where that's okay. You definitely don't go back to their house to play with them, to get them riled up so you can keep telling them no. I just think that's a disaster waiting to happen. Whether he takes it, whether he kicks you out and won't call you an Uber, whether he, just gets mad and mistreats you. It's not nice to treat people like that. That's not nice.
And men, it's not like, get to know her, because even if you know her, you can still misread the situation, and that's the dangerous thing about all of this. But get to know her. It's just not worth it. It's not worth it taking a chance and trying to read signals and trying to decipher stuff with people who you can see in this clip. They don't understand what they want or what they trying to do or what they wanted to happen versus what they didn't want to happen. So you thinking you're going to be able to read her actions and figure out what she wants?
Why were men able to do this?
You don't stand a chance.
Why was this not a problem in the 80s?
It wasn't that.
or 90s?
I don't know that it was always that it was. And that's why we're here now. That's why they call that rape culture, because a lot of bad things happen to women that they didn't want to happen to them. And that's kind of how we got here.
No. That is different. I'm talking about the fact that men on dates used to be able to read a woman. No dude, and I've never heard of a dude asking if he could kiss a girl in the late 80s and the early 90s.
Well, no. Did you not watch rom-coms and the little coming of age movies? It was always some nervous dude trying to figure it out.
And he was the one that didn't get the girl.
I
don't want you if you're nervous. I need you to know that I like you and I want you, and you need to kick it off because you the dude.
Yeah. You labor in a world where you far underestimate how complex women are. You think you guys are easy to read and simple, and why aren't you picking up on the signs? No, ma'am.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
And if you tell me I got to solve this Rubik's Cube or go to jail, I'll opt out.
Exactly, opt out. But let me ask you a question. Let's just say hypothetically you and I go on a date. Or let's say it's 3 or 4 dates, because we talking about me. So if it's 3 or 4 dates, you know what I'm saying? I can't do this first day. All this first date shenanigans is wild. But if it's 3 or 4 dates and these are like the 4 best dates you and I have had. We've said that to each other. Every time we get together, I have more and more fun. So at the end of the night, you walk me to my car. You want to open the door for me. You reach to open the door and I turn around and I face you and I lay on the part of the door, on the door handle, so you can't get to it. And I'm just looking up at you and I'm smiling, and I'm standing as close to you as I can without me initiating the kiss. What are you going to gather from that action or my actions? I'm not talking about words anymore. You know how we love to say actions speak louder than words. If I have done that, I'm standing there as close to you as I can, and I've blocked you from being able to do the thing that has you standing right here. What are you going to do?
I would hope that in 3 or 4 dates, I would understand you to the point where I was, I know what that's an invitation for.
Oh my!
But that's a hope. That's a hope.
That's a hope. And this is the problem with men right now. I do not understand.
But this is not our problem. We did not do this to ourselves.
What I'm saying
is the problem. We did not. We did
you don't
not.
Have to carry
we
that
did not. There are too many guys who leaned in. Is it worth it? If you tell,
so what did
Muhammad Ali was like, if you say, if I see,
kiss me, please. Is that what you want?
No, we need to have. You need to know the person that you're getting involved with. That's the solution to this.
When people want to just give a kiss real quick.
All right. And again,
Oh
you keep trying to
God,
fast forward
it's
to
just
these
so
3 or 4 dates.
convoluted.
That's a
This is why people don't
completely
want to date no
different
more. Because this
situation.
right here is terrible.
Because we're talking about two different things, and you just keep wanting
How
to
are we
jump back and
talking
forth
about two
between the
different
two.
things? I just asked you a hypothetical, gave you a hypothetical scenario, and you told me instead of reading my actions and okay, why on earth?
All I said was I would hope I understood
Why
you
would
well
I do
enough
any of
by
those
that.
things
That's
if
all I
I
said.
didn't want to get something popping? I ain't saying I want to have sex with you, but I want to
You
get like this.
you might want to get a lawsuit out of
Oh
it.
my
You might just
God.
get your jollies. You might just get your jollies
Oh
telling
my
dudes
God.
no. These women exist, TM, and you got to start taking some like you want to act like
I
it's
don't know
not
these
like that
hoes,
out
so I
here.
ain't got to
It
take
is.
accountability for nothing they doing. I don't know females that behave this way. I don't want to know females that behave this way. I don't want to make a man ever feel unsafe with me. I don't want to be this person that when he's around, he has to pull out a consent form, want to record me, and is scared I might do something to him. So no, I don't want to acknowledge that this is the world that we live in because it bothers me. It hurts me to think that all the fun that I had and the experiences that I had with a man asserting his dominance over me because I love to be the submissive is over with, and now I got to sit up here and be. I
No,
got to
you
be
can
the aggressor
absolutely
now
have
because
that.
dudes is too scared.
No, nobody see you are taking things places they don't need to go. Nobody said that you get to lose your fun. What if I said the solution is the entire time? Get to know the person that you're being intimate with. If you know that person and they know you, then they understand how you move and how you operate. They have some information to use to interpret your signs and to be able to, not have to second guess themselves because they know the character or the fabric or the desires and wants, fantasies of the person that they're talking to. When you just entering these physical relationships with people you don't know like that, those are risks
Okay.
you cannot
So let's go back to
afford
the
to
friend
take.
I was telling you about. I almost said his name. Let's go back to my friend who's been with this girl, his girl, for 6 months. And he's still talking about he's scared to talk to her. And he still can't pick up on her energy. He doesn't know what she wants. So he's not all the way satisfied with her love life, but doesn't know how to approach her from fears like this. So that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when you have had enough time to know somebody.
If you've been with somebody for 6 months and you haven't figured that out, y'all got bigger problems than just you being afraid of, what I'm saying? Like that has more to do with the two of them and their dynamic than it does with some societal fear about men making the first move. Like we can't lock that in here.
I don't like it. I don't like how any of this is playing out. Again, I'm not talking about rape culture. I'm not talking about sexual assault. I would never be on par with anything like that. That is egregious behavior. But I just want to know that the sanctity of dating is still there. That if I don't want to be the aggressor, because when women are aggressors nowadays, we get told we're too masculine. We got masculine energy. We're too alpha female and all of this. So I want to play that dainty role, but I don't want to wait 12 dates because you sitting in a state of fear. And it's wild to me, and I wish
Well,
we
tell them
weren't
that
here.
on date one.
Tell them what I'm doing. You know
Tell
how I
them that
do.
have that
This
conversation
this would
on day
never be
one.
my life. This would never be my life. I would absolutely have those
But if
conversations.
you playing these games, if you playing the cat and mouse game without any of that information, things have a chance of going horribly wrong. You're either going to think somebody's gay or somebody going to end up in a
You got to
situation they
do it
want to end up
correctly.
in.
If you
You need
set
the
him up to think
information.
nothing's gonna happen and you want something to happen, you better let him know now you want something to happen. You initiate it. You let him know if he say, you said you ain't want to do nothing. Well, that was then and this is now. So you wanted, and he asks you, so you want to do this? Yes. And you could be taking his clothes off as you're doing it. He has all the consent. You said yes now, and you are taking his clothes off. Now, I can't do anything about the girls who wake up in the next morning and regret it and want to start lying and trying to throw cases at people. Those people are despicable human beings. They're disgusting. They need to get therapy because it's never okay for you to tell somebody yes and because you regret it the next day, turn around and somehow make it seem like they did something wrong. That is egregious behavior and you should be jailed for it. I do not like females who move like this. I do not like girls who set men up for the okey doke. It's not okay. You ruin lives because you have some I don't want to be a hoe complex. Well, then you should have went home, ma'am. I am simply talking about people who like each other, enjoy each other, and want something to grow from it. And how this level of fear and this level of playing games with people can cause all of that to just like not work. It doesn't work that way. And if you're gonna do the cat and mouse thing, do it correctly. If you set him up to think he can't have it, the same like you said, with the same fervor, you gotta let him know he can. Like I just because I'm okay with at first feeling like, nah, I'm not gonna do this. I also think you shouldn't go to their house that time of night if you know you don't want it, if you're not sure you want to do it. But if you do and you get over there and you decide, you know what, we kicked it all night. We played spades, we played bones, we watch, crank yankers. Like this dude is amazing. We have so much in common. And I don't want to wait till the second day. But it's your prerogative. I don't recommend it, but it's your prerogative. Then you got to let them know, you know what? At first, I didn't really know, but now I know. So let's get it. And stick with that
Yeah,
decision, ladies. You don't get to if he was whack in bed, you
Place
don't get to change your mind. If you woke up in the morning and thought, "Oh, I shouldn't have did it," but you did, and you told him you wanted to, so let's stick with that. Now, this is serious. Stick with that. And even if you're ashamed and never want to talk to
play
him
smart,
again, that's
fellas.
fine. But just we can't be sending people to jail because you changed your mind.
Hey, play smart, fellas. Play smart.
I agree with everything you said. I'm not joking. I am thinking more along the lines of when you've been dating long enough or been together in a relationship long enough and you're still moving around like you don't know. See, I'm the type of girl that when I'm in a relationship, I'm married, I believe that you're mine and I'm yours. So unless it's a medical condition or something that's going on that I can't, if you come as my man and you tell me you want some, let's go. I don't subscribe to this. I got a headache for 6 months. I'm tired for 6 months. Sex is a very important part of a relationship to me. And I feel like what you won't give them another chick will. And I'm not saying that,
I
men
mean,
cheating all that.
I've
It's
been
just
it.
not nice to have a man who works and functions and has these needs and not give it to him and then expect that that's not going to cause issues in your relationship.
Nah, it's a scary game for you. I've been in a relationship with a woman who said those very same things to me about it. Hey, you're mine and I'm yours, and blah blah blah, and and then you make your move, and they tell you, "Nah, I'm not in the mood right now," or and they push you away several times, and now you trying to like I know what she said and I know what she's doing.
But you have to
Like at what
time it.
point, where's the
You
line?
gotta be more clear than that. Like that's
Yeah, and you see what I'm
miscommunication.
saying? Like you try to make the rules sound simple, and they're
I
not.
think if your
They're
energy
not.
is right,
They
they
just never
should be.
are.
If you hesitate, if you
The energy is
hesitant,
right. What is that? The energy is
man,
not
dude, if you real
quantifiable.
hesitant,
Ain't no scale on the wall where I can see, oh, the
if
energy's
you
right.
are real
It's right next to
hesitant
the
and shaky
thermometer.
with me,
Like, it
I'm
don't
gonna
work
keep
that way.
messing with you. Grow some. I need you to be aggressive with me. Don't play with me. Don't stick your little toe in the water trying to test the waters. Come get it. If we are in a relationship and I have told you that, come get it, come take it. How about that? And I know that's dangerous to say now
Yeah,
during this
maybe.
time frame, but that's just how I am. Again, only talking to the person that I'm with. No, none of the little crazies out here get to thinking like what you come snatch me off the street. That's not what I'm saying. But in a relationship, I want my man to walk up behind me, turn me around, press me up against the wall, put his hand around my throat. Hey, hey, I like that. I like dominance, not dominatrix, but dominance. I like that assertive nature. I like that masculinity. Own me. That doesn't, and I'm not talking about slavery. See, everybody can make everything you say negative. And that's the problem. I
And
just,
you doing it for
no,
yourself. You
because
doing
here
it
go the thing.
yourself.
When I say I want you to own me,
Ain't nobody
when
saying
I say I
nothing. You
want you
just
to own me, if you're too stupid to understand what that is, we probably shouldn't be together. And if you on the outside looking in, I ain't talking to you. But if I'm talking to my man, I say this is yours. Come get it. Do you know how much fun we can have with that? I don't want to live in a world where that can't be possible with me and my mate. I don't like this. I think things are getting
but
too.
but
Ugh.
the important thing in all of that is you said if I'm in a world where I can say this is yours, come get it. You've said this is yours. Like I'm saying, like there was something that happened that didn't have to be interpreted and figured out, for the person to proceed. Now I can take that information forward with everything that I do. When I do this and she says, no, this is mine. I can remember that. She told me that. But if you're dealing with this situation where I'm just supposed to pick up on you moved your hips a little bit or you tilted your head to the side or you laughed at 3 of my jokes in a row, like, no, not doing it.
I guess I just miss a time when things were simpler, not violent and not, negative, just simpler. And I feel like my late teens, early 20s life was much simpler than what it is now in terms of this subject matter, anyway. That went better than I thought.
Maybe.
Or did it?
We'll let the audience
I
decide.
don't even know if we came up to a conclusion or I think we really agree. I think I just didn't want to stay on task with that video because it was like a first date type of thing. However, like I stated, she didn't do that right. You know what I'm saying? If you changed your mind and you wanted to get it together, then you should have said something. And if you were there just to mess with the man, you never should have gone. So I don't know how to read her because
Nah, I
I
think
don't
we
agree
have
with
to.
the way you interpreted what she said.
She said I still wasn't gonna sleep with him, but I think we have to come to terms with the fact that there are women and quite a few of them who enjoy rejecting men.
That's
It's
disgusting. That's
fun for them.
disgusting, abhorrent, and deplorable. And not funny. First of all, there are too many women being killed on first dates to be playing like this, or any date, or by their long term lovers and husbands. You can't do stuff to people. We that's I have no words for how egregious of an act that is. Like, why would you do that? Why would you want to just put people over and over again in situations so you can reject them? What do you get from that? Like, who raised you? Anyway, I think that's enough of this subject. I can't wait to release the reels on this one and see how many people want to come in and add to this conversation. But I hope people understand what I was saying. Again, I am not advocating for abusers to be able to do anything. I just miss the days of going on dates, getting to know a person, the energy and the chemistry building, and a man being able to read that and know that at the end of the day, I want that kiss goodnight. It doesn't have to lead to sex. I can get in my car afterwards. He goes home. We both smiling, like the innocence of beginning a relationship. I don't want to have to give you a play by play of what I like and what I want and what I need. I've never had to do that back then. I don't want to start having to do it now.
Well, you might have to just give people time. That's just it.
I mean,
Just
when I'm in a
time. It's not
relationship,
going
I
to
don't give
happen
what
right
people out
away
here doing.
because of the way
I'm just
things work.
saying,
All right, so for women who
yeah,
want that, you can absolutely still have it. It's going to take time. It's going to take getting to know someone and having a true intimate relationship with them, not expecting them to be this from day one. It's not
I
worth the risk
guess
for
I
them.
ain't got no patience.
Well, it's a cold world.
All
Rub
right,
some dirt on it.
guys,
You'll
that
be all
is
right.
the end of this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I can't wait to hear the feedback. Any words of encouragement you got for the people?
No, don't start a podcast. No, I don't know.
Ouch.
Do something better with your life.
Ouch. Okay, guys. Well, we'll see you back here next week, or you'll hear us back here next week. And until then, be
Yeah, I'm locked in
good to
now.
yourself,
I got
be
no choice.
kind to others. Holla.
Holla.